Hi everyone, thank you for coming back to my channel. In my previous video, I've already introduced Golden Gate, and I would like to further explain both Golden Gate and Silver Gates in the galactic plane and how the ancient Egyptians describe to go into heaven through silver gates, then golden gates, and then enter into the galactic center. Okay, let's get started. Winter Hexagon, also known as the winter circle, is a prominent winter asterism formed by 7 stars prominent in the winter sky. These are Rigel in Orion, Aldebaran in Taurus, Capella in Auriga, Castor and Pollux in Gemini, Procyon in Canis Major, Canis Minor, and Sirius in Canis Major constellation. And then Sirius and Procyon are also part of the winter triangle, a smaller asterism that these 2 stars form with Betelgeuse in Orion. The winter hexagon can be seen high in the sky between December and March in the northern hemisphere, with a band of the Milky Way running through the center of the asterism. So here you can see the winter circle, and then inside the winter circle is the winter triangle. So that's why the winter circle is so significant, because it is where the Golden Gate and Silver Gate are located. Summer solstice is not simply the reversal in direction of the sun, marking a new journey or initiation. It is also the time that the sun stands still for a period of 3 days. At the Silver Gate or Gate of Man, opening this stargate or portal that lead to other dimensions. There are 2 such stargates, the Silver Gate or the Gate of Man in Orion, and the Golden Gate or the Gate of God in Ophiuchus, where the Milky Way plane intersects the elliptic band zodiac of the 12 constellations, and these portals open when the sun and cosmic meridians converge at Solstice. The Silver Gate is representative of the rebirth of the sun, reincarnation of the soul on an ascension journey of consciousness into unity, whereby the soul then moves beyond incarnation and resurrects as a spiritual goddess being at the Golden Gate of Alchemy in Ophiuchus. Every month, our Sun and Earth align with a different zodiac constellation on the ecliptic. For example, in May, we align with the Taurus constellation. It is interesting to note that near the Golden Gate is the constellation of Ophiuchus, a constellation that isn't considered to be part of the zodiac by the mainstream, but that does touch the ecliptic and is therefore considered by some to be the 13th sign in our zodiac. This makes sense since zodiac signs are connected to our months, which are connected to our lunar cycles, and the moon goes around the Earth 13 times during the time it takes the Earth to evolve around the sun once. Many ancient calendars had 13 months a year. It has also been said that because of the Earth bubble, the ecliptic points towards Ophiuchus, late November, early December for only half of a precession of the equinox, and then points towards Orion late May, early June for the other half of the precession of the equinox, which is roughly 13,000 years. A number synchronicity with our 13 months. We would therefore have 14 zodiac signs, but only 13 each year. Orion and Aviagus are pointing exactly at the Silver Gate, Golden Gate axis. The Silver Gate is located between the horns of Taurus, the bull, sign ruled by Venus, which is another sign for Isis, divine feminine archetype. Isis is usually depicted with horns and the silver gate between them in a very prominent way. The enslavers of our world have sought to hijack this energy in their financial system with, for example, the dollar sign symbol standing for Isis, the famous bull statue in front of Wall Street, and the word for money in French being argent, which means silver. Money is obviously linked to our sense of being nurtured, supported, and connected to our environment by the ability to create in it. When one is in the enslaving system and deprived of money, one can feel alienated, abandoned, and all alone, disconnected from unity, which is the feminine energy. On the other side, I'm logically assuming that the Golden Gate is linked to Isis' complement Osiris, divine masculine archetype, whose story of death, rebirth, and underworld resonates with the zodiac sign Scorpio. The Scorpio sign is often considered to have 3 stages of evolution: the scorpion, then the snake, then the eagle. It is interesting to see how, if we go from the galactic center towards our sun, after passing through the Golden Gate near the Scorpio constellation, we pass through the snake of the Ophiuchus constellation, and then through the Aquila Eagle constellation, as seen on the above picture of the Golden Gate location. Then we pass through our solar system towards the Silver Gate, as seen on the above picture of the Silver Gate location. Just before entering the Silver Gate, we pass through the Lepus constellation and then the Orion constellation. Orion in ancient Egypt represented Osiris. Lepus was said to be Osiris' boat to journey every night to the underworld, situated through the Silver Gate. Next to Lepus constellation is the Canis Major constellation, the dog, that the ancient Egyptians associated with Anubis, dog-headed deity. The Lepus constellation is nowadays depicted as a white rabbit, a widely used symbol in nowadays media. For example, in Alice in Wonderland and Matrix, the white rabbit is followed down the rabbit hole, where we can choose between 2 paths, cakes that make you tall and or small, blue pill and red pill, one of these paths leading into another world. In Matrix, Morpheus even says, "You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes." As an additional synchronicity, many cultures have seen a hair on the surface of the moon, feminine archetype linked to silver and Silver Gate. It's interesting to note that when Osiris was killed, he was split into 14 parts, our 14 zodiac constellations, and resurrected and put together by Isis, Unity, who could only find 13 pieces, 13 zodiac per year. The missing piece was his phallus, and she made a golden one to replace it. Perhaps the additional day in a 13-month year. A lunar cycle is 28 days. 28 times 13 is equal to 364, plus 1 is equal to 365 days in a year. Osiris is usually depicted with the crook and the flail. The flail having 3 branches reminded me of Shiva's trident. Another masculine archetype who has 3 aspects like Scorpio Osiris and whose theme of creation destruction resonates with death rebirth. This theme doesn't need to imply suffering, but is here to express the movement, action, masculine aspect of life, creating cycles, different forms and shapes, and transitions into different worlds. To sum it up, as seen on the constellation maps above, Orion, Osiris, masculine, and the Taurus, feminine, are pointing at the Silver Gate, feminine, and Ophiuchus, Isis, feminine, and Scorpio, masculine, are pointing at the Golden Gate, masculine. This is perfect mirror representing how balance is needed in all things, which means feminine and masculine energy together to balance things off. The path that goes from the galactic center towards our sun through the Silver and Golden Gate is the Milky Way, which was considered in ancient Egypt to be the celestial river upon which Osiris' boat is sailing. Many other Egyptian deities are pictured on boats that resemble wormholes. Silver and Golden Gates can explain the essence of feminine and masculine energies, and symbolism attached to it has been widely used in our world. I believe it can tell us a lot about the dynamics of our reality. So now let's take a look at the daylight on August 14 coming up. I just pick any time during the day to see how the planetaries and the constellations lining up. So you can see the moon at the bottom is right at the Silver Gate, and Venus is right next to the Silver Gate because the Silver Gate is between Gemini and Taurus. So the moon is at the Silver Gate. And then Mercury up at the top, and right above Mercury is the sun. So it looks like the sun, Mercury, Venus, and moon is kind of, it's not a straight line, but it's kind of lighting up together on August 14. I'm not sure if it is significant, but it's definitely something to think about because at the same time the moon is at the Silver Gate on that day. So now let's take a look at September 11 coming next month. Again, I just pick a time during the day. It's 10 a.m. And you can see the moon. It's once again at the Silver Gate. So I'm not sure what will happen on that day. Will they do something again? Will they have, August Ray and other events on the same day, but like 19 years later? So something to think about because if the moon or the sun is at the Silver Gate or the Golden Gate is very significant. If the moon is at those two gates, which means they can use the alchemy, witchcraft to gain the powers, celestial power, the galactic universe powers to, of course, whatever they want to do to us. And then if the sun at the Silver and Golden Gate, of course, that means the gate will open. Then let's take a look at the September 22nd. My previous video, I haven't checked the information before I presented it. I'm sorry about that. But I found out that September 22nd, the sun is not at the Golden Gate. On September 22nd, the autumn equinox, the sun usually, of course, is at the constellation, the zodiac, according to that month and the date, but actually it's the moon at the Golden Gate. Now you can look at the moon is right at the Golden Gate next month on the 22nd, and it also lined up with Jupiter and Saturn. So now if I zoom out a little bit, you can see the sun is at Virgo on the right hand side, right upper corner, and then Mercury also at Virgo, and then moon is at the Golden Gate. Then lower left corner you will see Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn. It looks like they kind of lighting up together, so it's like six of them lighting up on September 22nd. Again, that is significant because the moon is at the Golden Gate. At the same time, 6 of them kind of lighting up together. So pay attention to September 22nd. So now let's take a look at October 1st. At nighttime, it's easier to see where's the moon because October 1st is full moon. And in October, there will be 2 full moons, one on the 1st, one at the end of October. At the same time, it's Halloween. So you can see, okay, so at the bottom, you can see Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter. They are at Sagittarius. And then go up, Aquarius, you can see Neptune. And then if you go upper left corner, you can see the moon and then Mars at Pisces. So again, they are kind of lighting up. Mars, moon, Neptune, Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto, 6 of them. So and it's a full moon on that night, so please pay attention to that. Then on October 31st, the moon is right up at the top left hand corner, then Uranus lower below that, then Mars again. Mars is at Pisces, then Neptune is still at Aquarius, and Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn still at Sagittarius. Again, they look like they are lighting up. So this time 7 of them at night. 31st is a Halloween and full moon at the same time. Okay, let's take a look at December 14th. And if you have seen a movie called Donnie Darko, in the movie they said that December 14, 2020 is the end of the world. So let's take a look at the sky. The sun, moon, Mercury, they kind of lighting up on that day. If you look at the right hand side, The far right is Venus, then Mercury, Sun, Moon. They light up together right next to each other at the Golden Gate. So I think that's why that movie, Donnie Darko, say December 14, 2020 is the end of the day, the end of the world, because both Sun and the Moon are at the Golden Gate, and so as Mercury. Then if you go right next to them, you can see Sagittarius is Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn. Saturn and Jupiter, they are close together. So Saturn and Jupiter are getting close together, and the closest point, which is the grand conjunction, will be on December 20th. So even on December 14th, they will be right next to each other already, right between Sagittarius and Capricornus. And then if you go to the center, you will see Aquarius is, you can see Neptune, then Pisces again, Mars, and then far left is Uranus. So you can see they kind of lining up again on that day. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 of them lighting up in the sky on December 14. And at the same time, the Sun and the Moon are at the Golden Gate, plus Jupiter and Saturn are getting close together, and it just in a few days they will have the grand conjunction. So I think that is extremely critical on that day. So that's why December 14, 2020 is definitely, I'm not sure what they mean by the end of the world, but actually I think it could be a huge shift, the final shift from the old world to the new world. That's what I'm thinking, because both the moon and the sun is at the Golden Gate. That is really crazy. Then on December 21st is the winter solstice. You can see at the bottom Venus is at Scorpius, then Mercury and the Sun are still at the Golden Gate. Then Saturn and probably I think it's Jupiter, they are at Sagittarius.